Hello everyone, welcome to my Terraform NSX-T Provider demo where I'm going to show you how you are able to configure a Tier-0 gateway with a Tier-1 and a typical free-tier application topology using that Terraform NSX-T Provider. So on the right, a logical diagram of the topology I'm going to create. I'm going to create an active standby Tier-0 gateway with two uplink interfaces on that Tier-0 gateway. We are going to configure BGP on the Tier-0 gateway, pairing with the top of rack A and top of rack B. We also automatically configure the BGP Neighbor Configuration in NSX-T. We are going to configure an a Tier-1 gateway connected to the Tier-0, and we are going to configure route advertisement rules on that Tier-1. Also, overlay segments for the web app and DB tiers, and furthermore, some segments to be able to send north-south traffic towards the top of rack, which will be in this case VLAN101 and VLAN102. With regards to the free tier app, we are going to create security groups for the web app and DB tiers and a general application group. I'm also going to show how to create a custom service. This would be for the traffic from web to app communication, in this case TCP communication on ports 8443. And finally, showing that you also can create distributed firewall rules using those groups and using those services to be able to access and use that application. And we are going to add a rule, a default deny rule, only applying to that application group. So I'm going to share in the comments the blog post where you can grab the code, but on the left you see the variables TF file. So that will be information about my NSX manager environment, and I have to specify edge nodes to deploy the Tier-0 on. Then I've entered some variables for my segments, so the web segment, the app segment, and the DB segment, and the names for the security groups, so web, app, and DB, and a general name for a blue application, assuming this is a blue application. On the right, the main Terraform file. So first, some data sources for reference later. So the overlay transport zone, the VLAN transport zone, the edge cluster we are going to use. We are going to use some built-in services. So that will be protocols being prepared in NSX-T out of the box. So in this case, SSH, HTTP, HTTPS, and again, the edge nodes referencing the variables. So in this part, we create the NSX-T segments. So that will be the VLAN101 and 102 for the Tier-0 connectivity to the top of rack. Then the actual Tier-0 gateway. So this would be the name, comments, active standby. And I also will configure the default or basic BGP configuration, in this case a local AS number 65003, and adding a tag to give it a color, to tag it, to show how that can be done. Next part is where I specify the uplink interfaces, so uplink 1, uplink 2, uplink 1 connected to VLAN 101 with a subnet IP address configured, MTU, and where it connects to. So this will be the edge node where it's connected to, edge node 1, and uplink 2 to edge node 2, uplink 2, different IP, different subnet. Next section shows how you specify a BGP neighbor configuration. So one of my top of rack is on 101.1 with AS 65001. And the second is on 65002 on 102.1. Then we're going to create a Tier-1 gateway. So a display name, we just use the IDs NSX gives us, and the edge cluster again, where it should be deployed on. And then the Tier-0 path is important to connect it automatically to the Tier-0 we create. And that will be the path to that one. So in this way, you can configure it automatically to configure to the Tier-0 we create in the same file by using this path. Also a tag, and then some root advertisement rules, just to show how that can be done. Then we move on to creating overlay segments. So in this case, the web segment, the application segment, and the DB segment. Note that we are currently using different subnets or IP networks for that, CIDR ranges for that. Moving on to security groups. So we're going to create a web server security group based on tags. So the condition is a tag. Member type would be virtual machine, contains web. So if we create virtual machines and tag it with an NSX tag web, it will be automatically be added to this security group. Same applies to application servers, database servers, and then a general group to combine all servers, which will be used in the default deny rule, and the apply to. Then the creation of a custom service. So we specify a name and a description, and then we say the protocol, in this case TCP, and the destination ports 8443. So we can also add a range of ports or a set of multiple ports. And then finally, the security policies. So this will create a section. So allow blue in this case, allow blue application. And we are going to use SSH to allow SSH inbound to all the servers in this application group. Then allow HTTPS only to the web servers, 8443 to the app servers, and in this case HTTP to the database servers, and then default and any deny with a reject. So to show you in NSX, we don't yet have the segments we need to build this topology. We only have basic segments for the edge node running on top of the compute nodes. We don't have any Tier-0, we don't have any Tier-1, we just have an empty edge cluster. We don't have yet any firewall rules, as you can see. Just simple edge cluster ready to go. As you can see here, and one edge cluster prepared up front. So let's see how easy it is once you specify that main Terraform file. So first of all, Terraform validate to validate the file. All seems good. And then Terraform apply to apply that configuration. So this gives you the opportunity to review. So a lot of stuff to add. I'm assuming right now for this demo, this all is good. Then enter yes, and then it will start creating all those objects in NSX-T. And it's done. So let's see. In networking, we now have a Tier-0 gateway. Cool. And it has linked one Tier-1 gateway. All good. BGP configured and enabled with the local IS. BGP neighbors are configured with the right addresses. Tier-1 is created with 3 link segments. That would be the web, app, and DB segments. So let's check. Yes, they are created. And they have also the subnets we added to that segment configuration. On the Tier-1, we can also see that I think there should be a route advertisement rule. There you go. So it allows these 3 networks as connected networks to be distributed. And also all connected segments and service port and static routes are automatically distributed from this Tier-1. Moving on to security. So let's check. Yes, we have a new policy, an allow blue application policy, applied to one group. So in this case, the web service. You can see it's in progress, so it's still being initialized, I would say, on the data plane on the transport node. So let's see if it's now up. Yep, it's up. So now it's also available on the data plane. So first of all, the allow SSH rule, source any destination blue application for us to allow SSH to the servers, to administrator then. HTTPS to the web service to app service traffic, TCP 8443, apply to web and app. HTTP service from app servers to DB servers using HTTP, apply to DB and app servers, and then an any deny applied to the blue application, making sure that if a rule does not fit, is not applied to the workloads in this one group, then the traffic will be denied. That concludes my demo. Thank you for watching, and until next time.